Men, what's a cheat code you discovered in marriage that actually works? Story 1. When I feel like my wife is feeling a little down or when I feel like we're not connecting emotionally, I will ask her about something she is passionate about and just get her talking. And I will ask questions that cannot be answered with a yes or no. She will go from sitting back with her arms folded to leaning forward, talking excitedly. Often, people feel closer to someone simply by talking to that person and being heard, and everyone feels good talking about their favorite things. Also, if you have something difficult to talk about, wait until they are in a good mood. Story 2. 1. You and your partner are a team that are working to solve your issues together. It's you two versus the issue and never you versus your partner. 2. Hardly a cheat code, but communication is the key. Story 3. Verbally acknowledging each other's contributions to the household. Thanks for cleaning up after dinner. It looks great. Thanks for taking the kids to soccer practice. Thanks for grabbing groceries. This is my favorite cheese, so on and so forth. By acknowledging each other's day-to-day and sometimes mundane contributions, it builds appreciation and prevents animosity. It also prevents certain tasks from being assigned to a person with the expectation that it's theirs forever, and that's just how it is. Story 4. Keep a note on your phone for gift ideas. When she points out something she likes or wants to do, write it down in the note or snap a pic and insert it. See something you think she'd like, write it down. Also, keep her clothing and shoe sizes in the note as well. Also, Google mental load and learn about the imbalances that tend to occur. Take more of it on. Story 5. Not me, but my brother said he finds a lot of success by doing things around the house before she can even ask. LOL. Shelby like, can you take out the trash? Him already did it. He used to do this to my mom when we were younger too. Edit to add, I don't care if it's considered a hack or not, just sharing what I've heard. Story 6. Pick the right person. Be super critical during the courting phase. Ask the tough questions and make sure you're aligned. But once you decided to commit, that critical switch needs to flip and you need to be their biggest cheerleader. So many couples do it the other way, lovey-dovey during the courting phase and then start getting critical after they commit. Story 7. When that little voice in your head says don't say it, when you're just about to say it, don't say it. Example, don't ask any questions about how dinner is being prepared, be delighted someone is making you dinner. Story 8. Don't think of it as a 50/50 sort of relationship, you're half and my half. Think of it as 100 and 100, each partner giving the other their all without expectation of equal return. Story 9. During pregnancy and the first few months after childbirth, I always hear men say, there isn't much for me to do with the kid, it's all her. My cheat code is that SHE is your responsibility during that time. Every time her belly itches, you put lotion on, you get up and get her snacks, you rub her feet, you lift her belly up to release pressure on her back, you buy her comfortable clothes. When the baby is born, yes, she has to wake up and breastfeed, but you burp the baby, you change the diapers when you can. I did all of this while being active duty military, so it drives me up a wall when fathers and husbands make an excuse that they have to work so they can't help out, be an active parent and an active partner. Suddenly, you'll find yourself getting laid more too without begging. It's like genuinely caring is attractive or something. Story 10. Along with the obvious, make sure you're doing your share of the household duties, communicating your appreciation of what your partner does, e.g. Whenever my wife returns from something like getting groceries, I go out to the car to help bring everything in, and make sure I verbally let her know that I appreciate what she just did for our family. Story 11. Do not take your complaints about that person outside of the marriage just to vent or gossip. I'm not talking about enabling abusive isolation. I'm talking about the stress and annoyance that can come WJTH daily living in regards to your spouse and longing to vent. I might say that finances, schedule, time, etc. are really stressful and complain to family or my friends about that. Complaining about circumstances, not my spouse, but I don't talk about my husband for the sake of venting or gossip or tear him down in conversations to other people. If I needed true assistance, I'd find a therapist. I find allowing yourself to wallow in gossip and disrespect to your spouse quickly colors your view and other people's view of them, and you can't easily get that respect back. If my husband does something I view as foolish, I address it with him. We have been married almost 20 years and mutual respect and admiration are very important in our marriage. Story 12. I added replace furnace filter to my Google Calendar as code for tracking my wife's period. Having her favorite snack already on hand has kept a lot of peace in our house. Story 13. Feed them or let them wake up before getting too defensive in any argument. Hangry and tired people are not themselves, and it might not be a fight in a normal state of mind. This goes both ways and across all spectrums. Story 14. Not marriage, but worked in LTR for me. I make notes in my girlfriend's contact in my phone, what she orders at certain restaurants, things from her past that were important, stuff she's mentioned wanting for Christmas birthdays. Story 15. More of an unethical cheat code, but pick battles to lose. My wife doesn't want me to ride a motorcycle. I have zero interest in ever riding one, but I bring it up every now and then just so she can shoot it down. After 17 years, my wife called me out on it this spring saying that I didn't want one anyways. Story 16. Share in her outrage. When she calls and tells you something crazy happened and she annoyed at a person or situation, never respond with logic. Always respond with, are you f***ing kidding me? That asshat did what? I'm gonna come down there myself and deal with this, or something similar that fits the situation. They don't want answers or solutions, they just want you to share in their outrage. Story 17. Always say thank you for meals. Regardless how it turns out, You are thanking the effort, not the outcome. Rock, paper, scissors, and veto. Do not abuse or will end bad. If there is a favor you want done, offer rock, paper, scissors. Turns the act of the favor into a game. Before playing, your partner can veto. The balance comes from you can also veto when they ask, so you both have to pick and choose when to veto. If rock, paper, scissors is played, it must be followed. You have to do the thing. So say you want a drink from the kitchen, and no one is getting up soon. You lose. Rock, paper, scissors. You have to get up and get your drink as soon as the game is complete. Story 18. Buy her tacos and call her pretty. It works. Remember, it is not you versus them. It is both of you versus the problem. Your teammates. Also, the other advice here. Story 19. 15 years in. Pick your battles. Don't get into an argument about something you couldn't care less about. In fact, if there is a disagreement, don't think about it like who's right or wrong. Think about it like who cares about this topic the most, and if it's them, get out of their way. Story 20. When my wife gets home and wants to talk about work or about a friend or I ask support or suggestion. Changed my life. My wife de-stresses after work by talking about her day. When we were dating, my impulse would be to solve whatever problem she had, which she didn't want. Years together and many fights later, we've both learned to just ask what the other needs, and we both love each other, so we're happy to provide it. Story 21. Communication. Communication. Been married 5 years, together for 8. I stress hard on this. Quality communication from both sides makes such an effective team. The fights, arguments, tough spots, financial stress, intimate problems that we have completely avoided and been able to navigate together solely because we focus on communicating. That's it. They want to be heard and validated. And so do you. And who doesn't love a good OL debate when you come to a crossroads with a decision? Life is so easy as a married couple when we sorted out our communication. Story 22. Being a nice, respectful person. Sounds simple, because it is, but very difficult when you have kids, stress, emotions, trauma, and when the other person has the same. If you can stay nice and respectful in difficult circumstances, you'll do better than most. Story 23. Listen, it's hardly a cheat code, but most of the time if you pay attention, act on what you hear, then you'll make both of your lives infinitely better. Story 24. Don't keep score, and absolutely don't bring up score. Don't empty the dishwasher because it would give you brownie points. Do it because it needs to be done. Story 25. Be each other's biggest fan. No talking about the other to anyone, ever, when you are always looking out for and supporting each other. That creates a strong team. Story 26. Dude here, I make the bacon, literally. I fry up enough pretty bacon so that she can steal a couple of strips and I can yell get out of my kitchen, before I put everything else on the plate for breakfast. She's hard as nails the rest of the time, but the wife giggles and runs off like a child caught with her hand in the cookie jar when I'm making the sides for the pancakes and blueberry waffles made from scratch, mind you. Story 27. Hey race, my personal opinion. 1. Don't be victim. 2. Be flexible in your role in your relationship. 3. Take personal accountability for every task. You and your partner need to accomplish. You're a team. I work at a place that is 95 blue-collar men. The older men are getting divorced at an alarming rate. They are much more likely to have conservative opinions about relationships and unbelievably bad attitudes about their wives. The men who can't take responsibility for their mistakes are almost all divorced. Grow up and own your issues and mistakes. The men who only contribute by being a provider have terrible relationships with their adult children. We all have roles in our relationships, but if your wife is behind or having a tough time, jump in and wash a dish. Take the kids out of the house so your wife can relax. Many men want to scream about how masculine and tough they are but refuse to do women's work or contribute in any way than their own personal tasks. My thoughts come from not only my life but observation of other men. I don't want to make this political, but the red pill, ultra-conservative men are not doing well. I've been told by an older coworker that my wife would not respect me if she didn't make my lunch. That guy is divorced and his kids are no contact. Even the conservative wives get tired of miserable, angry men. Story 28. My husband and I start every day with a really long hug. It seemed like a big task at first, but honestly, we now go in for those hugs more than once a day, and it helped me through some really rough days. My son has watched it numerous times, and he tries to join. Story 29. Small things that seem weirdly important to them and silly to you, just do them. And when something that might seem small to them bothers you, communicate it to them. Story 30. This is a real one that works wonders. Join Pinterest and subscribe to your significant other's Pinterest site. Then proceed to buy gifts for them that they've chosen years ago as their favorite items, and you'll have a significant other that is amazed by your gift-giving abilities. Story 31. If your wife is out all day and you want to be a degenerate and play video games for 10 hours, do 15 minutes of housework during the day and she will come home and be happy you were productive. Story 32. I discovered something dynamite that works wonders. The first month after we kissed, I bought her some small gifts and made a card. Our 1-month anniversary. She thought it was a little cheesy but sweet. The next month. Same again the next month. And so forth. A card with some heartfelt thoughts and some small gifts. Often late but always catch up. Kept going after we got married and had children. We had our 103rd anniversary a few days ago. I get away with absolute murder. She has kept all of the cards. We'll do this forever. Story 33. Race the microwave. Anytime you use it, use that time to do something quick. Load the dishwasher, flip the laundry, tidy up, get the garbage recycling ready. You'll be surprised at what you can do in 2 minutes. Story 34. Always offer to do little things. Going to the store. Ask if she needs you to pick anything up. Making yourself a cup of coffee. Ask if she wants one. Running to the kitchen. Offer to bring back a snack. Always work out your arguments before going to bed. Remember that even when you disagree, you are in this together. So work on your disagreements together, trying to figure out what is causing the disconnect, without raising your voice. Never keep score for bills, for expenses, for income, for chores, etc. If you see a task that needs done, do it. Kiss frequently, but also do things like kiss the back of her neck as you pass. Don't make it like you're not trying to pinch her but or something every time you see her, unless she wants that, just a quick little thing to show you love her, just past 10 years. Story 35. Tea time. You know how smokers all stand around each other when they smoke. It's a relaxing activity conducive to communication, opens the lips, so to speak. Obviously, smoking is bad for you, but you can substitute it with tea time, offer to make each other tea or coffee, make it a ritual understanding that it's low-key chat not talk time. Eventually you become conditioned to comfortable communication during tea time, and, as a bonus, it's also a gift and act of service that makes one feel loved. Story 36. You're a team of two, trying to find the best way to solve the problem in front of you. You're not one person in a sparring match against another person. Story 37. When your wife tells you she is exhausted and needs you to make efforts, listen to her and make those efforts. We tend to very fastly take those as nagging or annoying, but most of the times it's a need that comes out as a vent. Ignoring those repeatedly almost led me to divorce. Story 38. My wife is a very special woman who doesn't fit in any mold, so I don't know if her cheat code would work with anyone else. She likes gentle back rubs. Story 39. This applies if you're texting, if you're arguing, or Husha has you in a bad mood. Whatever you type out, read it 3 times before sending it. 8 times out of 10 you'll know it will cause more issues. I've gotten to the point where I type something or think of something and I can play it out in my head. I can predict her response, and 9 times out of 10, I'm right about what she's about to say or reply. It's a gift, really. That's kept me out of hot waters a few times, and it's also got me into good time situations. Story 40. If you can't figure out what you did wrong or what's upsetting your partner, get them a snack. Often people get cranky when they haven't eaten but don't notice, plus, everyone likes a snack. Story 41. You have to respect each other, which is a two-way street. But still, the death of relationships is when you stop trying to understand a partner and just have contempt for them. Sometimes that's okay. You didn't need to understand a clearly abusive ex, for example. But more often, people get to a point where they stop seeing their partner as a person they want to help, who they have sympathy for and see as a good faith actor, and start seeing them as in someone they need to get revenge on or force into compliance. When you see yourself getting contemptuous, ask yourself if there's something more you can understand. Remember who this person is to you and what you love about them, and consider that they may have acted out of emotion or ignorance when they said or did something that hurt you. I mean, don't be a doormat, but people so often get into fights when they could work together or understand the other person. Also, don't start off bad. If you can never respect a woman who did or does X, or a woman who can't respect you because you do X, don't get married. Story 42. If she is nagging or bitching, you are the problem. Listen to her, address her complaints, maybe even acknowledge your shortcomings and express a desire to make her happy. A little validation does wonders, but actually fixing the issue brings peace. Story 43. Your marriage is more important than your brothers and sisters or your mother and father or any other extended family. Period. The end. We learned this while seeing a marriage therapist. This brought so much harmony to our marriage, and our families can pound sand. Story 44. Any issue we have is caused by our old roommate. We rented out a room in our house to a friend before we decided to have kids. Anyway, the friend, let's call him Henry. Cool dude, super shitty roommate. Henry's long gone now, but we do still blame things on him. Henry said he was going to mow the lawn. Henry left crumbs all over the counter again. And my personal favorite, I really wish Henry would stop leaving his makeup all over the bathroom counter. We laugh about it a little, and then no one feels called out. Works like a charm for us. Story 45. If she's doing something like housework, you're doing something like housework. If she's doing dishes, he'll ask if she want me to dry. If she says no, he'll find something to clean, tidy, organize, etc. Story 46. Always try to de-escalate before fighting back. Sometimes it's better to be right and not point it out. My wife will attack and be wrong 90 of the time, mostly due to depression, but what I've learned is sometimes it's better to just let it go. I've been in a couple of long terms and I've learned they do not like being held accountable. However, if they start being vicious, hold them accountable and bring them back in line. Same goes for women too with men. Story 47. The fact that most men are utter and showing her respect, love, and makes me seem like crazy good husband. My wife recently started wearing hearing aids occasionally. One day, out of annoyance, she got her hair cut short to better deal with her hair getting in the way. Her coworkers were shocked she made such a major change without talking to her husband first. It's her hair. It's not my business. The funny thing is, I did do something cool as in relation to that. She had casually mentioned her ears get cold now. I picked out a few cute, had to ask the kids since I know nothing of fashion earmuffs, and had them delivered as a surprise. I think that was a cool husband thing. Story 48. Know which battles to fight and when to compromise. Recognize when they're feeling tetchy and diffuse or give space. Give each other room outside of the relationship. We have golf horses, for example, healthy and freeing. Story 49. Don't get angry no matter how outrageous her statements. It's a trap. She's playing stupid anger bait games to start an argument and provoke you into saying something nasty so she can blame you for the argument she started. Remain calm and it will drive her nuts, and she deserves it. Story 50. When she starts telling you about a problem with her friends, coworkers, family, or anything else, asking her, is this a problem you want my help with, or do you just want me to listen? Story 51. Communicate clearly. Don't let things bottle up. Try being romantic from time to time. But remember this, sometimes, your wife just wants to be like you did early on. Story 52. When picking out a Valentine's Day card, find two. One card you will buy and give, one card you will snap a photo of and copy the words when you write your inscription in the card you are giving. Obviously add your own thoughts to it too, but it can help get you started. Story 53. Never underestimate the power of a lil treat. Getting gas. Go get her a lil treat. Groceries. Lil treat. For your honey-do project. Lil treat. Called a florist to buy flowers for our anniversary. They called me the next year to ask if I wanted to send flowers again. Yes, and thanks for the reminder. They put my card on file and I gave them all my important dates, and these days they just ring me up to confirm and I don't have to remember anything. Our cheat code isn't going to work for everyone. We use humor to diffuse pretty much every situation. We roast each other a lot, call each other every terrible name in the book, daily, often competing to come up with more and more ridiculous combinations of offensive names, and it often leads to uncontrollable laughter. But a secondary effect is that it provides some form of tension release. We don't fight, ever. This obviously requires an incredibly strong communication base and sense of humor, or you'd just be verbally abusive. In my experience, it's one of the most profoundly bond-forming things to be able to roast each other and expose the other's silly idiosyncrasies. We could fight about me leaving my clothes around, but instead she just roasts the out of me. We laugh. I clean up my clothes. Story 54. I know this isn't possible for most, but we bought a spa pool and it changed our relationship. 30 minutes to an hour sitting talking, no phones, just us chatting, relaxing and getting on the same page. We did this most days. It honestly made the biggest difference. It didn't mean we would sit and talk about the hard stuff, but just put us back to when we first started dating. Just us. Story 55. Paying for a house cleaner to clean the house twice a month was the best investment ever. We just have different definitions of what clean is. We argued a lot over it the first year or two, 120 cleaning, and literally never an argument about it since. They wash floors, vacuum, dusting, clean bathrooms top to bottom, clean sinks and counters. Worth every penny. Still have to pick up before the cleaners come, but that is nothing in comparison. Story 56. Ask what's wrong, randomly every now and then. That paired with the times I actually can tell she's upset about something adds up to her thinking I can read her mind, because she forgets about all the times I ask and there's actually nothing wrong. Story 57. Every time my wife asks if I'm sure about something, are you sure that we'll stay there? Are you sure we don't need to do X or Y, etc. I've learned to just do the thing she wants me to do. If it doesn't end up being necessary, who cares, and if it did, yours covered. Story 58. Tell other people the wonderful things you see in your partner, even when she's not in the room. You'll feel much more affectionate and loving toward her the next time you're together. And if you two are together, when you pay her those compliments to others, she'll feel just as affectionate and loving toward you. We pay each other compliments all the time, but it's so much stronger when we speak highly of one another to our friends and family. It has really strengthened our relationship. Learn how your partner talks to you. Since we all come from different backgrounds, experiences, cultures, etc., we act and react in unique ways based on our upbringing. Take the time to understand the words, meanings, and intentions behind what your partner says and does. The better you get at knowing who your partner is and how they communicate with you, the less misunderstandings and fights you'll actually have. Story 59. When we disagree on a choice we're making together, and neither of us is convincing the other that our choice is the better one, we go to this question on a scale from 1 to 10. How important is this to you? It's usually more important to one of us, and we go with that person's choice. So far, this has gone pretty smoothly and saved a lot of headache, but we're two people who don't bother to inflate the importance we feel in order to get our way, so that helps. Story 60. Tell her she's hot. Eat her out all the time. Communicate. It's okay to get mad and yell, not in front of others. Don't stay mad, get over it and move on. Don't let little things fester. Of course, this is very general. I'm sure some people can have very serious problems that are much more difficult to move past. Story 61. Small things. Filling up his water bottle before he goes to the gym, running to the store for things he needs but forgot to buy, setting out spices, condiments he likes to add to his meals, bringing him home small snacks from work, random hugs and kisses throughout the day and night, doing house chores before it gets out of control. Those are the things my husband and I find that make us really appreciate the other. It's always the small things for me. Story 62. At least once a week. It is the lubricant that smooths out all other problems and challenges. It is unfortunate that many people overlook the importance of a healthy life in sustaining a marriage. Here's one my married friend of mine told me. Don't get married. Story 63. If you crouch in the corner of an exterior wall, then dodge roll into the corner, you'll clip through the wall, and under the map. If it's during a fight, your partner won't be able to maintain their hostile state, as they won't be able to engage you, but you also haven't left the area. Once they turn from hostile to neutral, you can clip back in the room by repeatedly jumping under a window, and you will clip back in. Story 64 When you ask what she wants for dinner and responds with I am not sure, she is sure, you just need to get there. If you make a suggestion and the answer is yes, stop there, you have achieved victory. Story 65 Invest in their hobbies. If she wants a printing press for t-shirts, then buy her the press. Let her design the room and help get it done. Now you can work on your race cars while she's bankrolling Etsy and local event shirts, and everyone is happy, little worker bees. A lot of marriages fail because one or the other makes their partner their hobby. That's where you get the grown men shouldn't play video games, or you can't go out with your girlfriends tonight, etc. From people that made you their hobby. Story 66 I operate by the point system. Guys, be ready to be blown away. Everything you do, chores, dates, good, happy gifts, whatever, those give you points. The number of points doesn't matter. Remember that, the number of points doesn't matter. Now say you mess up, now your points are at 0, not less, 0, not 10 million, 0. Remember, the number of points doesn't matter. Now 0 isn't great, but it's not bad. You can rebuild from 0 pretty quick. Do a few nice things and you'll be in positive points soon enough. Now, let's say you're at 0. You screw something up again, now you're in trouble. Just like the point that the number of points doesn't matter, now it's opposite. SHE knows how many points you need to get to 0, but you don't, so you work at it, build it up, and with some patience and work you're back in the positives again. If you feel like you can never get out of negative points, that relationship isn't for you, this trick has led me to a very easy to understand way of handling relationships. Story 67 1. Love each other even during the times you don't like each other. 2. Be kind always. 3. Give each other space to do your own thing. 4. Do things together. 5. Ask each other for advice and listen. 6. Never, ever lie. 7. Be each other's biggest fan. 8. Brag to other people about her accomplishments. 9. Put your needs in second place. 10. Seriously, don't ever lie or betray each other. Trust is everything. Story 68 My father is incredibly forgetful. He always has been. He keeps a small stash of gifts for my mother in case he forgets an anniversary or other occasion. They're all non-perishable items that she collects or relate to one of her interests. Whenever they're out and about, if she really likes something, he'll surreptitiously buy it and sneak it home for his present stash. It has saved his bacon on numerous occasions. It's their 48th wedding anniversary this year. Story 69 Be kind. Don't use their words against them. Don't say I told you so. They'll stop opening up. Almost happened to me. It doesn't matter if you think you're right. In the same hand, it's okay to listen without giving a solution or fix. Sometimes they just want you to commiserate. Story 70 To respond to your partner's bid. If your wife reaches to you, respond, no matter how insignificant the conversation or small the touch. Always respond, because they're just looking for connection no matter how slight. Learned that in therapy and it honestly saved my marriage. Story 71 Treat your wife with respect. Ask her if there is something you can do for her. Lose your ego. Acts of kindness. Taking initiative like making sure her car has decent tires that aren't bald as. Fill her car up with gas Sunday evening so she doesn't stop in the morning on her way to work because you know she always runs behind. The key is just being a good man and never stop dating that woman. My dad wasn't that great, but I was privileged enough to have my grandfather raise me until I was 10, and he was in my life till he died in 2014, and that man taught me so much about just being a solid human. Miss you, Pop. Story 72 It's not just women that don't want intimacy. I had a boyfriend for 5 years that pretty much ran from me, very painful, yet he did not want to break up. We are still friends but no longer intimate. I started thinking it was the Freddie Mercury story again. Story 73 Listen to your partner. Pay attention to what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what they like and don't like in bed, what their dreams are. Forget what society or your friends or family or even former lovers told you that people want. Learn what this actual person thinks. Also, to the extent that both of you are comfortable with it, go full Gomez Adams on them. Delight in their presence. Cheer their successes. Comfort them when they fall short. Treat life with them as an adventure. We've been together over 40 years and married almost that long, still having fun. Story 74 I give my wife a 3 to 5 minute leg rub before she goes to bed. She sleeps better and she appreciates it a lot. It's a daily, intimate moment that takes very little time. Story 75 Your spouse is your partner, not your competitor. You're on the same team. You win when she wins and vice versa. That final clinching point in an argument, not going to be a winner for you, because if she loses, so do you for the most part. Let things ride and keep it riding smoothly. All of the conventional wisdom about addressing matters and differences directly and immediately, overrated. Try to be oblique and make your point gently when things have calmed down. Story 76 Keep each other first in your lives. Let nothing come between you, not kids, work, money, bills, hobbies. Nothing. If you're not a couple, nothing else will survive. Story 77 5050 does not exist, and I notice a hyperfixation that everything needs to be divvied up equally. It's certainly a recipe for disaster. Some days you'll need to be the 20 to their 80, some days you'll need them to be your 80 cause that particular day you feel like a 20, sometimes you both are at 40 and you need each other to build each other back up. How you handle these metrics will make or break your relationship. Also, my favorite one is you cannot pour from an empty cup. Don't forget to fill your cup after you pour into everyone in your life, including your go to the gym, go play video games, go play outside. Your identity transcends beyond just being a partner to your Sorry for rambling, thanks for reading. Story 78 That crush you had for her. Keep it, she's not your property. You're a man, so cut that immature stuff out. People make mistakes. Get over yourself. Allow new. Communicate every feeling. Feed her. Rub her feet randomly. Drive around town listening to her type of music, basically showing her off. Include her. Play with her hair. Express your love during intimacy. Send long passionate texts while you're at work during breaks. Listen to her gossip and take her side. Wash her hair when she showers. Fold and put away the laundry. Oh. Story 79. This is specific to my wife, and I do not know if this can be generalized. If she is really cranky, she is probably very hungry. I learned how to cook and make quick snacks. My proudest moment, not a humble brag, a thump my chest and yell it out brag, was when she said liked my pan-fried potatoes, not a euphemism to her mother's pan-fried potatoes. Story 80. Not mine. An old housemate of mine. He used to do everything for his partner. Bro would be on the PlayStation, and the partner would text him from the bedroom to get him a coffee. So he'd put down the controller, make the coffee just the way he liked it, and take it upstairs. One day after he did his little coffee run, I had this conversation with him. Me, you're so whipped. Him, no, it's not whipped, it's empowerment. Him choosing to keep a peaceful household by doing these jobs. Me, whatever. You're so whipped. Him, come in. These jobs aren't a big deal. He asks for a coffee, so I make him one and then I get back to killing Russians. It's not an inconvenience for me and it keeps him happy. I almost never say no to him, so the few times I do, he never questions me. He knows I'm saying no for a reason and he just accepts it without a fight. Me. Oi, ch. Mind blown. Story 81. Not only learn to communicate and actively listen, but comprehension isn't something I see often talked about. There's a hug difference between listening and comprehending. Don't fall into the trap of listening, meaning only hearing in order to respond. Active comprehension is immensely important. Story 82. I go with. Never go to bed fighting. Always resolve any argument before bed, because overnight is when resentment takes root, and resentment is marriage poison. Story 83. For my grandparents. Schedule times together. It gets harder with kids, but even 15 minutes talking in bed before sleep makes a world of difference instead of being ships in the night. Don't look at others' relationships with envy. If you like how someone is with their partner, start copying them then. Say, I was wondering if we could do XYZ and talk it out. Speaking of talk it out, it's us versus the problem, not you versus me. Financial stress. You're a team now, so down and work it out together. Set guidelines, and change them as needed. My grandmother was the matriarch in the home, and my grandfather paid the bills. My favorite story is when growing up, my mom and her siblings hated liver and onions. But Nana said, your father and I love this dish. We only eat it once a year, so eat it, and Pop would say, eat what your mother made, and would eat his meal. Years later, after everyone left, she made liver and onions, and he said, I'm not eating this. For years she thought he loved liver and onions like her, but he backed his wife up.